Senator John Fetterman has been saying things lately that, well, I didn't expect to hear from him. Not in this political climate, not in this era of performative outrage and party line obedience, and certainly not from a Democrat who's been under pressure from both sides of the aisle. But here we are. Fetterman is suddenly one of the few voices on the left making actual sense. And because of that, there's a growing chorus on the right and even among some Democrats urging him to switch parties. But I want to say something different, something that might surprise people who know I lean conservative. Fetterman should not leave the Democratic Party. He should stay because the Democratic Party desperately needs someone who still remembers what common sense even looks like. Look at what's happened to the Democratic Party over the last decade. It didn't just drift left, it didn't just evolve, it literally mutated. You've got leaders like Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Ilhan Omar, people who treat ideology like a religion and activism like a sacrament, people who insist men can get pregnant, who flirt with anti Israel rhetoric, and who seem more interested in moral grandstanding than governing. And now, with the Israel Hamas conflict, you've got factions of the party openly embracing positions that Fetterman himself has called out as extreme. He said outright, if the party goes full anti Israel, he'll walk. That's a big statement, but it's also a warning to Democrats. We talk about division in America like it's about policy disagreements. It's not. It's about tribal reflexes. It's about taking the opposite position simply because the other side said something first. We've created a political environment where thinking for yourself is treated like betrayal, where stepping back and saying, hold on, this doesn't make sense, gets you labeled as a traitor. But that's exactly what Fetterman has been doing. He's not following the script. He's not reciting the talking points. He's actually thinking, and that alone makes him valuable. You don't have to agree with everything Fetterman says. I certainly don't. But you can tell when someone is actually processing an issue instead of just repeating what their party demands. That's rare. That's important. And that's exactly what the Democratic Party is missing right now. Bill Maher said something years ago that still rings true. I didn't leave the party left me. Fetterman is living that reality. He hasn't changed, the party has. And instead of running from that, he's confronting it. We throw around labels like left and right as if they're fixed identities, but most people don't live at the extremes. Most people lean. Maher leans left, Fetterman leans left, I lean conservative, but leaning doesn't mean abandoning basic reality. You don't wake up one morning and forget what a woman is. You don't pretend biology is a political opinion. You don't rewrite definitions because Twitter or your party told you to. There are core truths, common sense truths that shouldn't be sacrificed just to stay in good standing with your party. And Fetterman gets that. We forget something fundamental. We're not living in the United States of Democrats or the United States of Republicans. We're living in the United States of America. And the job of our elected officials is not to wage war against each other. It's to find common ground where it exists and fight for the people who sent them there. Fetterman understands that. He knows he represents Pennsylvania, but not just Democrats in Pennsylvania. That matters. If Fetterman leaves the Democratic Party, what happens? He becomes another voice on the right saying things conservatives already agree with. That doesn't change anything. But if he stays, if he remains a Democrat while refusing to bend to the party's most radical impulses, well, then he becomes something far more valuable. A counterweight, a course correction, a reminder that the left doesn't have to be synonymous with extremism. The Democratic Party needs leaders who think, leaders who question, leaders who refuse to abandon common sense just to earn applause from activists. I think Fetterman can be that leader. When voters look at Washington, they see chaos, infighting, grandstanding, nothing getting done. People feel ignored because their representatives seem more loyal to their party than to their constituents. But when someone like Fetterman stands up and says, hey, I'm not doing that, I'm thinking for myself, it restores something we've lost, trust. Even if you disagree with him, you know he's not just parroting the party line, he's actually trying. And that's worth something. If Fetterman switches parties, the left loses a voice that could pull them back from the edge, right? The right gains a voice they already agree with. Well, that's not balance. It's not even progress. It's not leadership. It's surrender. The Democratic Party doesn't need fewer thinkers. It needs more. And Fetterman staying put sends a message. I'm not leaving. I'm fixing this. At the end of the day, America doesn't need more party loyalists. It needs more leaders, people willing to challenge their own side, people willing to say, no, this is too far. People willing to defend common sense even when it's unpopular. Fetterman has shown he can do that. And that's why he should stay a Democrat. not because his party deserves him, but because his party needs him. He's their silver lining, he's their wake up call, the reminder that thinking is still allowed. And if he stays, he might just help resurrect a party that's lost its way. So, no, Fetterman shouldn't switch parties. He should stay right where he is. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to walk away from a broken system, it's to stand inside it and fix it.